This next question, and since we're at an hour, there's this question is going to tie into this very beautifully, because you're talking about your family members, you're frustrated with them, your friends, they're not questioning. And so there's two things going on. The questions goes like this, and I'm kind of trying to tie it together as best as possible. But Dr. Mazen, he's been mentioning binge watching Netflix as a pastime. This is something people do a lot. It's not just Muslims. They are keeping you distracted, keeping you from questioning. Okay. And what the question says, I find that family members and friends that typically don't feel strongly about other ethical issues are it's difficult to read. Some ones who they're also apathetic to this manufactured crisis. I feel like you need a certain amount of activism and willingness to sacrifice all the things that you hold dear to stand up for what you believe is right and true. Hawk, right? What can one do to exhort their family members to take this seriously and to stand up for what's right and get out of their comfort zone? And this question was directed to Dr. Mazen. So what would you like to answer?
Yeah. First of all, I like to sometimes watch Netflix too. It's not a bad thing to watch Netflix necessarily. But the idea of using distractions and using, like this deploying, circus, bread and circus, this old tactic of bread and circus to distract people from what's actually going on, big issues of the time, it's a familiar thing. It works very conveniently with many of our own inner strategies. Once we start kind of understanding the psyche and trauma responses and the way we shut down and the way we disconnect from ourselves and dissociate and use these different things to kind of numb away or find comfort and find safety, they take advantage of that. They know these things. Just like people are becoming more trauma informed, I believe, Allahu Alam, the elites and the people, the powers that be, are also aware of these things and they use them to their advantage. Same with marketing. They know the psyche and the tricks and the loopholes of the psyche, and they use marketing gimmicks and tricks to get you to buy their stuff. And they're using it politically now to get you to buy into the narrative.
Right.
You see. And so it's very important that we be able to identify what are the ways that we're keeping ourselves bound.
Yeah.
And one of the ways is this culture of circus and bread and circus and distraction. In terms of exhorting your family, good luck with that, right? Because it's a very difficult thing to call sometimes, most times, even ourselves properly, never mind other people. So the first and foremost recommendation is to really focus on yourself. And you'll find that as you begin to do that, you will begin to see things more clearly and begin to see potential in other people, where other people are, receptive to waking up, maybe we can say, receptive to being red pilled, or maybe we can say green pilled, where you can bring them wake them out of dunya, and really, this is all dunya. These are the familiar tactics of dunya. It's escalated for sure, right? But it's dunya, and we have a faith that invites us to something beyond. Dunya is a drop in the ocean of reality, and people are so stuck in these things, in these games, and we need to be able to disidentify from them, unmesh ourselves from them, and find true freedom in that which lies beyond, which is the eternal truths of our religion, of the hereafter, of our faith. And this is really just to even attend to the previous question as well, right? We were created to be ummatan wasata. We are the last bastion of truth. We're the last, as Sheikh Hamza Yusuf says, we're the last train home. And this is not hubris, inshallah. This is not kibr and arrogance. This is amana.
Yeah.
This is amana. This is a responsibility. And so we need to be able to not fall for the polarity, and to see in some capacity, not the politicians and the powers that be and the shayateen, but the people, right, including our family, as vulnerable people, and people that have been, harmed by this, and they're being dragged into it further and further, and to have compassion, and to be a witness for it, right? We have to be a witness. We have been granted this capacity to see through the eternal face of our religion and the heart of Iman, the light of Iman in our hearts, and we have to be able to call ourselves and one another and our family members through that light. And may Allah give us tawfiq. It's a very hard thing to do. And we have to pray about it. And we have to get really clear about what it means for us. Is it an ego thing, or is it really us, trying to do well by Allah and responding to this responsibility and this amana?
It's a responsibility. I think it's like that saying of, if you want to see change, you have to start with yourself. You have to be the change yourself and set an example for your family. And, as I was saying a little while ago, like, small things that you can do, put your foot forward and start moving. And, you might move your family, but ultimately it's Allah who guides, right? You make dua for them, you do your change, and inshallah they'll follow. We are at, capped out. It's 3:11 now, and I wanted to thank our audience. Thank you so much for showing up today. Please do share this with everybody that you know. One reminder that I have for you is to, if you have any questions, you can submit them to questions@balancingtheconversation.com. Here, let me pop that up for you right here. All right, hopefully you can see it. There you go. So you can submit your questions there, and we're going to be trying to cover them in the future episodes, inshallah. Next week, inshallah, we have a very special guest. He is our very own Muslim frontline doctor. His name is Dr. Syed Haider, who has treated over 4,000 patients. Sheikh Abdullah was talking about this earlier. This is your opportunity to have somebody, from your own faith come. You get to hear his testimony, so definitely stay tuned for next week. And he's going to be here to share his experience with us, inshallah. And with that, I would like to ask Sheikh Abdullah if you could please close this session with a dua for us.
Inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. ربنا آت أنفسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار وسلم تسليما كثيرا. وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. السلام عليكم.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.